This past October, Will and I completed our second crossing from the Abacos back to Florida, and then we did it back again. On this trip, we were on a 42-foot Fountain Pajot catamaran, and it was captained by Brian, and our other crew member was named Ben. The four of us started our journey in St. Augustine, Florida, and that's where we were able to fuel up, provision the boats, and plan for our crossing. During the crossing, we did not have the ability to stop, to take on any kind of food, fuel, anything like that. We just had to go straight through. So we had to make sure that the boat was properly provisioned. Here you can see we got the sail up and we couldn't get it back down, so someone had to climb the mast, and that was our other captain, Andres, who was on a different boat. We had the privilege of sailing with him on our first crossing, and his wife, Lisbeth. While we were out there, I also did some ad campaigns for different brands that I work with, and it was really fun and challenging to try to shoot for them, especially when underway. So here's Andres climbing the mast using what's called a bosun's chair. This is something that you definitely want to avoid if you can, but since we were at anchor, it was relatively safe and there were plenty of us to assist. And we had success. We finally were able to get the sail down. This was a lesson learned and why it's important to make sure that everything is good before you run any sails up. Here we are sailing through the Bridge of Lions, which was an amazing experience. During our first crossing, I actually had the privilege of driving the boat through, which was terrifying and amazing at the same time. One of my favorite things about being at sea is just the collaborative nature. You become a team with the people that you sail with. You become so close. You're like a little family because you are. You have to take care of each other. You have to cooperate and help each other and support each other. You cook for each other. You take turn cleaning and doing dishes. You pick up. It becomes a really respectful environment, or it can become the opposite. Thankfully, with each group that we've sailed with so far, we have fallen in love with every single person that we've sailed with, and it has been an amazing experience, and you get a bond like no other when you sail and live with somebody side by side for over a week at a time. During part of this, we were in a flotilla. What a flotilla is, if you are not familiar, is it is a group of boats that does the crossing together, so that if one boat has an issue, there's other people within, a couple nautical miles that are able to help if needed. So our flotilla was comprised of 7 boats. They were all catamarans, and it was operated by Florida and Abaco, which is the parent company. We sailed with Florida and Abaco, and we actually completed a lot of our ASA certifications through them on our first trip, and I highly recommend them. We had an incredible experience. They really keep you safe, know what they're doing, and have experienced captains. We also encountered quite a bit of weather on this trip. At one point, the wind got up to over 41 knots, which might not seem like a ton if you're on a major cruise ship, but on a small 42-foot catamaran, it was significant. Trying to work, drive, and also our autopilot was going in and out during part of this trip made it a really fun challenge. We all stood watches and alternated, so each of us stood 2 3-hour watches per day, one in the night, one during the day, and we were responsible for basically driving the boat, making sure that we're on course, that there's no imminent collisions or hazards, and just generally being alert and keeping everybody safe. When we weren't standing watch, we had the freedom to kind of do what we wanted. So oftentimes if it wasn't too many waves, I would be out there shooting. If there were a lot of waves, I'd be in there working on my computer, or just hanging out, keeping the rest of the crew company. Looking for animals was always fun. The moment I set foot on the dinghy going out to the boat the first time, we actually saw a pod of dolphins. We had some instruments, books, and then every time we were able to make anchor, we were able to get in the dinghy and go explore and have a ton of fun. If you haven't been, the Abacos are filled with one of the most amazing arrays of life that I've ever seen. Healthy reefs, beautiful animals, pristine beaches, and a lot of these places we had it completely to ourselves. Even sometimes we would do big beach bonfires and cookouts. Since it was Halloween during our trip, some people actually brought fireworks, and we had a great time just hanging out with our little community of sailors. And then it was also incredible to go to some of these places and to feel like you're some of the only people on Earth. It can be really hard to get away in today's life and to see places that feel pristine, they feel a little more untouched, and to have the opportunity to go visit I feel like it's just really good for my soul. I love being out there. I love the peace that comes with it. And I love just having the space to create. There's no pressure, there's no deadlines when you're out there. It's just a very slow, different way of living. I brought my cameras, of course, and was able to work on some projects, and that was always really fun. I feel like I'm able to capture beautiful images when I'm out there because it's obviously very easy. And then, of course, we all worked on different skills that we were weak in. So practice driving the dinghy, doing the sails, doing engine maintenance, things like that, basic living skills that you need to have on a boat. We all were able to practice and get stronger, strengthen those, and then work as a team together to help. I loved bringing all my freediving stuff and had lots of opportunities to go freediving, exploring. There's some beautiful swim through caves, lots of healthy corals, tons of fish. And at night it was always really nice because we could just kind of power down, enjoy the sunset every evening, and cook as a family. I think my favorite was seeing the sunsets and the sunrises. I really tried hard to get up early and be able to see every single one. During our first crossing, we woke up in the middle of the night during the crossing. We're out in the Gulf Stream where there's nothing around us, no ambient light, and we got to see a rocket launch. And that will probably be one of the most beautiful memories that I have of my entire life, was seeing this rocket light up the sky, travel across the entire sky, and then feeling the sonic boom afterwards. It was incredible. I was so mesmerized that I looked down, I felt something in my hands, I didn't realize what it was, and I realized it was my pants. I was holding my pants because I ran out of my cabin so fast, it was 1 a.m, to see what it was, that I forgot to put on my pants, and that was okay. Got to see it, loved it, enjoyed it. This is us at Green Turtle Cay. We were able to dock the boat, in the marina here, which was a challenging experience because there was a very strong current that day. I got so flustered I forgot how to tie basic bowline. So it happens. Sometimes the best thing to do is just back out, try again. This is one of our favorite traditions as sailors. Each boat has a sticker, and there's designated places that you can put them and leave your mark. So it's fun to see who's been there before us and who's there then, and connect. We had so many of these beautiful places completely to ourselves. I can't even tell you how incredible it was to walk the beach and to be the only people there. Green Turtle Cay is absolutely beautiful, and you wouldn't realize that just a few short years ago it had been decimated by Hurricane Dorian. The island has really recovered, although some of the damage is still evident. And we were able to drive around, we rented a golf cart, and we were able to see just some of the beautiful places that this island had to offer. This day was also Halloween, so we were able to meet up with some of the other sailors and go have a little party, and that was very fun. And we were able to go out and do a lot of dinners. So we went and did dinner out at a restaurant, which was a nice break from cooking and cleaning for all of us, and just be able to sit down, enjoy, and support the local economy. So something I love about a lot of these islands is they're very small. You don't need a car to get around, so we would just rent a golf cart and drive around and have a great time. We got to see all sorts of beautiful places and that we couldn't always see by boat, so it's fun to get off the boat and be able to go explore the island's interior. I think we hit 3 different islands on this trip, and we'd seen previous ones on our last trip as well, so it's a great place to see lots of different spots that you wouldn't normally get to see as a tourist. Here we saw a mated pair of sea turtles, wild pigs, there were wild chickens, stingrays, and that's all just from walking around and not even going out. So this is part of the downtown area, and this bar is called Sundowners, and every night the sun goes down, somebody comes out and blows a huge conch shell. So that's really fun. Here's all of us just having a good time and being silly. Like I said, we had a great crew, and we really enjoyed the few nights that we were able to go out to dinner and let somebody else handle the cooking. This place had amazing desserts, and it was so fun. There's our fearless captain who guided us all the way through a challenging crossing. And we came through this experience with so many great memories, jokes, just a great time. And here's all of us in our beloved boat. At the end, we had to catch a ferry over to the mainland to be able to clear customs and come back to the USA. So we're taking the ferry over and back home. I hope that this was fun and you enjoyed seeing a little bit of what sailing life was like.